my banana. I'm eating it right now, and it is, what do we think? 50%? In between 40 and 50% eaten. Yeah, I'm going to say right around 50% eaten. All right. So, this is a thought I just had. Virtual me, future me. I'm going to put this on the record. I just had a thought. I said in the last video, because of the whole Trump thing now, what I said was because of the inaction and it's the ineffectiveness of the ineffectiveness of the legislative branch of our current government to counter Trump's craziness, and the even though the judicial branch is ruling against Trump in a lot of the stuff that he's doing, Trump is just choosing to not do it, so that it's making it, it's kind of, with some of it, maybe most of it, I don't know exactly, but with some of it, it's making the judicial branch seem somewhat, at least, impotent. And I don't, it's not some sort of pawn or anything. It's just making the judicial branch seem basically like a less capable, less, like an unequal partner in the trifecta of the three branches. So my thought would be maybe the three military branches, the Army, Navy, and Air Force, and if in the future a Space Force is created and it separated, segregated, whatever, from the Air Force. Maybe all of those together, the entire military could be dedicated as a fourth branch of the government. You'd create an amendment that branch would also have political authority. So instead of three equal branches that have political authority and checks, balances, there would be four branches, and the military would have four branches, the branches, and they would have, it's not that they would only answer to themselves. They would have to report to the other civilian branches still, but they would have certain enumerated autonomous capabilities and enumerated powers to check all three other branches in a legal sense. And we could. My idea would be, how do you divvy up the representatives from those? Well, I think a good way to do that would be um, some of the people would be appointed by um, what was I thinking? Some of them would be appointed by each of the three other branches. Like maybe some from the judicial, the Supreme Court, some from the president, and some from the House and the Senate, and probably essentially most from the House and Senate. So essentially most from the House and Senate and more from the Supreme Court, and then the president would get a few, 1, 2, whatever. So the president would also have just a little dab in there. And then also, of course, some would be elected representatives, and those elected ones would be elected representatives, but elected from, and this can be debated on, of course, but elected from active and or retired military personnel. Maybe everyone in the population, who knows? Whatever, debate it. But I say active and or retired because how the fuck do I know who would make a good representative? Someone serving in the military would know more about who would know how to represent the military and civilian life more than just me. I've never been in the military. And that's what we want them to do basically all the time. They would only have the military people, the representatives of the military would only need to do a few very tiny things, like what I was talking about in the other video, remove traitorous, high-level, basically executive branch people. Pretty much only the president, because if governors are acting wonky and the president, I mean, if a governor is acting messed up, the FBI can arrest them under pretty much any circumstance. We're in an unprecedented thing where the president stacked the FBI and stuff so that no one in the FBI is going to arrest him. And even if they would, the Supreme Court made that weird ass ruling where, I'm immune, so how would you even arrest no one even knows how to approach this legally anyways. So, this is, like I said, this is unprecedented. So now we're going to have to create a situation for this. But even if Trump was acting in the most honorable way possible, I think maybe this is a good time to consider giving personnel in the military a say in the functioning of the government beyond just civilian life. I mean, I know they have a say in the normal being representative, and some people will say, well, then they have they have 2 votes. And it's like, yeah, but they're serving more than one role. And, you know, honestly, until we move to a society where we are more like, we have a system more like Israel, and, you know, I got a lot of contentions with Israel right now. A lot of things with Israel. But they do have kind of a good philosophy about standard service. The reason I say that is because if we had everybody in the military, at some point down the line, it would just make make everyone less. It would make everyone more anxious about having all this crap going on of being like sending everybody willy-nilly. Israel has a small population. That's why they're doing all this garbage. But we have 350 million people. So if America did some aggressive war just at the behest of someone else, there would be an uproar. You would not be able to run the country like that. You would not be able to run the country with 200 million people doing that, and a lot of the military would say, no, people in the military under one, if you have that and the system I just said, if you do both of those at the same time, the military would have the right, to say, we vote against this military operation. This is an unlawful military operation because this reason, that reason, that sort of thing. So, there you go. And I think that might be an improvement to the existing model. Frickin' trains. All right, I'm gonna get back to my banana. Bubs.